right, Mike, thank you so much for joining us here today on Mindstock Talk. Could you just give us a quick elevator pitch about yourself and your role at Arizona Gold and Silver?
I guess to really summarize it up quickly, I'm extremely honored and flattered to be part of this team. We've built a team now that not only has the experience of finding materials, but producing and even selling to major corporations. And I just have to tell the story. And these guys are the ones that make it work for me. And I've been very honored to do so. Really, just a quick surmise. We've got a great networking team. We've got a great mining team, a great exploration team, one of the best geologists in the industry now working with us and working towards what will be the next development story in Arizona. I'm very sure of this.
I like that you pointed out telling the story, because that's a common theme that we're actually seeing within the whole industry as a whole. And that's kind of part of what our job is too. So thank you for mentioning that. And a quick follow-up question. We heard a little rumor that you were a former firefighter. And I find that very interesting because it's such a huge change in career. So we're really curious of how you ended up in the mining business.
Always had an entrepreneur side. And being a firefighter, you work 4 on, 4 off. And on my days off, I was always that guy that looked for something else to do. And realistically, you also had to find a little extra income, because at the time, this is almost 30 years ago now, well, 35 years ago, excuse me, the money that you were making as a firefighter was not necessarily enough to give you the little extras. So I always entrepreneured. I did build homes. I owned a gallery. I've had 2 successful businesses and outside of being a firefighter. And this market itself always intrigued me. And I got involved with a couple of companies in a bit of an IR position, telling the story for them. And I enjoyed it. And as a result of that, when this opportunity came along, it was a no-brainer. I retired from the fire department and took this on full time.
When you decided to take on the project and name it and go with it, how long ago was it? And can maybe for our viewers give them a snapshot of what the company's about these days?
Initially, I was approached by Greg Hahn, who was our VP of exploration, and we formed a company back in 2016, November. And we initially were called Arizona Silver because we had acquired a silver property. And it didn't take us too long to realize that the market was actually looking for gold. So Greg went about his ways in Arizona and found a beautiful property called the Philadelphia property, and its feature is gold. Well, at the end of 2019, we formulated an agreement with the landowner, and the rest is history. We've now built it into the next emerging discovery in Arizona.
And the Philadelphia property, pretty interesting. And can you just give us kind of an update where you stand with it at this time?
I should have concluded a couple more things. In the meantime, we will not develop this property. But leading up to that, you must make sure that it's approachable by all the other people that are looking at enhancing their property or their company, excuse me. And so what I mean by that is we bought out all future land payments now. The original landowner came to us and offered us an opportunity. We took advantage of that. He maintained a 1% NSR. After about a year and a half later, we bought that out as well. So for those that are looking at the next opportunity to increase their ounces in their portfolio, this cleans the way and the path, if I may, that there is no encumbrances. So the only thing we're paying for now is our BLM land payments. And that, by the way, we went from mere 11, 12 claims to 30. Now we have over 2,400 acres in our possession. So it's one of the largest packages of land ownership in the Oatman District, Northwest Arizona. We are going to sell this. We have a large interest in the company right now, ongoing. And I would see in a time frame I won't commit to because you don't know, but there will be a further interest from majors and mid-tier people because this deposit is getting larger with each drill hole. And it's very intriguing for those that don't see a limit to this yet. They see it expanding quite a bit beyond what we already know is there.
The project is in an area where infrastructure is not really a problem for a company that would want to take it on.
The key things that, and I respect this the most about Greg, is you must pick your location. It's the same as real estate location. We have and have had operating mines within 12 miles of us. The Oatman District is very, very large mining orientated. It's produced over 2.5 million ounces now to date. That number will increase in the future as well. We have two operating mines, one in care and maintenance, one operating mine about 6.3 miles south of us right now. Again, the area is primarily rich with mining industry. There is a large interest further to the south as well. It's like a little mini Reno is what it is. So it's very heavily touristy in the summer months. And most of us Canadians enjoy the warmer weather in the winter months down there as well.
Well, I could tell you these two Canadians want to come down and see it for that very reason. So when we're filming an episode involving Arizona, we'll be there for sure.
What would you say are the most exciting milestones over the past year? And we know that you have done a raise recently, and I'd imagine that would be a part of that. But maybe just if there's anything else that you guys got going on in the works that you are able to share.
Really interesting year. We've produced a 43-101, and that is not a resource, but that is a 43-101 document. And the direction of that is for our interested parties under CA. This gives them, I'll use the term, the ability to know everything about the property, the history, the grades, for instance, because it was a producing mine, by the way, in the early 1900s. Now they can go back and reference what was the extraction rate, what was the material, low sulfidation, beautiful. How does it leach or does it leach? All that information's in there. And it's 147 pages, so it's very, very detailed. That is a big milestone for us. I think one of the most encouraging thing is every time we drill, this deposit continues to grow. Matter of fact, and Greg hates me for saying this, but we're 55 holes in a row without a miss, all mineable grades. That's excellent. We're 1.5 kilometers of continuous strike length in both the high-grade vein and stockwork combined. There's another 1.5 kilometers beyond this that is yet to be explored with the vein expressing along the surface. So it's got a very large footprint, and it's got some very good opportunity here to be much larger. What we're finding is every time we drill deep, and our drilling today, the deepest is about 950 feet, the grades are increasing. So it's following a model produced about 12 miles away called the Oatman area, where the grades got better. Are hopeful, and we don't know this yet because we're not deep enough yet, but once we do get deeper, we hope to find the throat of this or the flue of where the material is coming from. In the Oatman district, they hit it just around the 850 to 1,000 foot level, and they hit 26 feet of 1 ounce material. That's what we're looking for. Then the ounces really add up quickly. Matter of fact, your tonnage goes up as well, appreciable. But that's what we see happening. We're sitting on a flow dome that we're just on the edge of, and we have a drilling permit coming in early April that we believe will have all that comprised, and we can go deep down to 1,300 feet on those drill holes.
One of the things that you mentioned was de-risking, and I just wanted to point that out, especially for new investors that might be watching. That's huge value add to shareholders.
It is. We have one of the best share structures out there. We're only 71 million shares out, and we've managed to do this by just doing small increments of raises. And matter of fact, our first 3 raises were without warrants. Now, the majority of those raises were taken down by management. So we didn't want the appearance that we were trying to be greedy and taking warrants and half warrants with us. So we didn't. And we advanced the company. We've now, for the very first time under this current raise, are offering a 1 share, 1 warrant opportunity. It's the first time we've ever done it. We're actually raising in around $1 million right now. And personally, everyone from management is partaking in this raise. So Greg and myself will be putting in $100,000 of our own money each into this capital raise. We do have some very strong people coming on board already, but we're always looking for that new opportunity, a new investor that wants to come along for that ride. I see this going extremely well. This will put in another 30 holes into the system, giving us about 1.8 kilometers of continuous strike length. So it's got great opportunity. And as far as de-risking goes, we've done all those steps. We've actually channel sampled across the top. We've got incredible silver grades up to 600 grams per ton. We've got gold grades there. So across the area that we're drilling, we've taken all the steps necessary to make sure that it's not something that's going to be risky. And by doing that, we've taken the steps to do it. This is now right next to where the old workings used to be, where they were getting anywhere from 8 to 16 and just a little further over 86 grams per ton. So we're expecting some nice results, but I like the fact that it's continuous and it continues to increase the deposit size.
Can you tell our viewers how you see the metals market for the next little while, over the next 12, 24 months?
Well, I mean, being that we're talking about this, what do you think of yesterday? It's about time, right? I want to go out past my skis here, but I've been believing that this is the time to get in the market for the last 6 or 8 months. I had a fantastic phone from a really astute investor. And he said, Mike, I've been shopping for good gold deals and good opportunity because it is so beat up out there. It is so bad out there. Now that everybody is gone, that's the time to get in. And I like that. I mean, you know, I have no crystal ball, and I'm not going to go out and say that it's going to be $5,000 gold. I won't. But I don't believe the price of gold and silver and copper, for that matter, are at levels that they should be, especially with the demand on the product.
Can you share maybe a recent exploration success story and what it might mean for the future of the company?
As I mentioned, a takeout. That I can see happening if all our plans go really well, and I do believe they will. Between the next 18 months and 24 months, I don't see us being where we are now. I would see that this property will be sold. There's enough interest. There's enough work being done on it. I don't see us here in the next 18 months to 2 years based on what we have done so far and where we're going and where we plan to execute. The people that are looking at us now are in no rush because they haven't had to rush on anything for years. But if the sector heats up, I'm sure that will increase their to move forward quicker. But right now, everything's being studied, and they're actually very methodical about how they go about it. And I don't have a problem with that. I want us a little higher value before we start talking takeout anyways. And that share price, I want it much higher than it is right now. But the good thing for us is we're in the right jurisdiction. We're in the right area. We have already run metallurgical testing and received 94 to 99% return in 81 days. Those are fantastic results in open pit heap leach ideas. One of the most easiest way to mine. We also have a high grade vein that can be utilized in another mining operation close by. That is really what these guys would be looking for. So we have a combination of two, a high-grade vein in 2 locations. Matter of fact, we pick up a 3rd vein on one of our last holes. Didn't know that it was there, and you won't know until you drill it. So we could have multiple high-grade veins down there below that 1,000-foot level that we haven't seen yet. Very characteristic of this Oatman district idea. I'm pleased about that, but our future is definitely to sell. And I see that this deposit gets too big, somebody's going to step in like they're looking at it now.
I could say I'm really glad to hear it's a team, and all your postings and updates and news releases that we get a chance to see as small shareholders is appreciated, Mike. I'll tell you that right now. People read them, they come to our website looking for yours, and then off to your website as well for a deeper dive. It's been really helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, the ease of time of talking about somebody else's accomplishment and building this opportunity more and more all the time. And yeah, sure, I play a role in that, but it's because of what's going on in the drill results that are making this so attractive. And that goes down to one person. And then the mindset of everybody working together before that happens. Where do we do? What's next? How do we make this happen? Make the best return for shareholder value. I'll give you an example of another thing that I'm extremely proud of. The inside ownership of this company is 28%, and not one single share has ever been sold, ever, by management. Again, I mentioned Greg and I are coming in for $100,000 each on this placement. Again, showing more commitment, but more, I like the fact that the share price is where it's at. It's one of the lowest it's been in quite some time. That's an opportunity. The structure itself, being as tight as it is, also creates areas of sharp increases in value. If someone was to try to buy $50,000 worth of shares right now, it would probably raise the price by 5 to 6 cents, maybe even more. It's just beautiful how it trades. It's very thin. unlike some of the other unfortunate situations where they're trying to move 200 to 300 million shares, it's difficult. But when your share structure is tight and there's not a lot of float, it can rise very quickly. And I expect that to happen with ongoing results getting hopefully better and better all the time.
Well, I'd say that is very positive, and it says a lot about the company as a whole, which is very exciting for us. If you actually had a crystal ball, where do you see Arizona Gold and Silver within the next 5 years? And you mentioned the offloading the company.
We have a target right now of 18 months at the maybe on the outside of 2 years, providing we have everything in place. One of the ones is capital to continue to drill. But outside of that, no, I'm just getting enriched all the time with value. And it's being watched by some of these people that I mentioned already. I continue to repeat that, but it's important to know it's not something that's not being overlooked. It's being looked at. And when that opportunity comes for them to get involved, and it could be just as soon as we get our permit, that 40-hole program can double the size of the deposit, providing we hit that same material that we did above. So that's what's exciting right now, that this would be that much larger, that quicker, in just maybe 40 holes.
All right. So I'd say that we're about to wrap things up. Is there anything else that you would want to share with our viewers?
We have a beautiful website, thanks to Tim. All our information's on there. Every single hole, this is a very flattering point too. Every single drill hole we've drilled now on the patented claims are listed on our PowerPoint. And this isn't meant to throw any mud at anybody, but we list every single hole because that's shareholder money going into the ground. We want to show you where the money's going. Our financials obviously show you everything as well, but every single drill hole, whether we miss or not, is indicated on there. Another thing that's a valid point, 91% of the dollar that we have goes in the ground. It doesn't go into a lifestyle. And I'm most proud of that. That's different than a lot of other people out there. And I don't care. That's just how I would wish to run this company, giving the maximum return for shareholder value by putting it in the ground where the results will take care of the value of the stock.
Well, you just reminded me of the movie Jerry Maguire, where he screams out, "Show me the money." That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today. We find great value in it, and we know that whoever decides to sit down and watch us shoot the breeze will appreciate it as well. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And I really appreciate the opportunity. Really enjoyed this. Thank you very much, both of you.
Calling all savvy investors in mining and resources. Seeking the inside track on Arizona Gold and Silver? Look no further than minestalkers.com. Our cutting-edge search tool is not only designed to reveal hidden gems, but also provides real-time stock updates. Visit for the insights and stay for the gains. Seize the opportunity and explore the magic at minestalkers.com. Uncover new investment possibilities today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's get the word out there.